Okay, friends, hi. My name is Elle. I hope that you are well. I love this sweatshirt. Black women are the blueprint. I got this in 2020 and I haven't worn it in a minute. And so I usually don't like to be wearing sweats and casual clothes on here, but I wanted to wear this today. Happy Black History Month. I hope that you all are doing well. Let's dive in. So today we're talking about the essential documents you as an American need if you are going to be leaving or relocating out of the United States. Now, I have lived in 4 or 5 countries abroad. I've traveled to 26 countries. And the things I'm going to share with you today, I have never done any of these things. The first time I left the country to travel abroad was in 1993. So long, long time ago. And I have been lots of places and done lots of things before then. And I have never felt this sense of urgency or the sense of panic or the sense of I have to get out of here as much as I do now. And so I am preparing to leave the country again, to move outside of the country again. And I am getting all of these ducks in a row because with the state of the current United States politics and the current, what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with an A, administration, the current administration. I don't know how things are going to go, right? We don't know what is going to be at the end of this road, but we have all of the signs in place to know that things are not the same. They will probably never be the same. And so wherever I go, I need to have all of the documentation with me so that I can prove who I am, what I've done, what I know, and I have it all with me. So let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Elle. I'm very happy that you're here. I help women create lives of ease and success I help women create lives of success from ease instead of exhaustion and help them live their dream lives. And the dream that I'm working on for my own life right now is relocating abroad again. The last time I lived abroad was in 2022 to 2023. I lived in Rwanda for a year and had to come home to take care of a medical emergency that I was having. Now I am preparing to head back out into the world to a not yet disclosed location. And I am nervous, not about the world. The world feels fine. I'm just feeling very time aware about how important it is to get out of the United States right now. Like it for me. And I'm not trying to be fear mongering. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or sensationalist, but the writing is on the wall. We have reached the tipping point. The tipping point has come. And I don't trust this country or the people who voted this administration into office to have my back or to have most human beings back. I don't think human rights is at the center of the United States right now. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you the important things that I am doing on the document side, on the paperwork side, to prepare to be moving abroad. Now, again, as I said before, these are things that I've never done before. And I have lived in multiple countries on multiple continents, from Africa to Asia to Europe. I have lived all over the world. I've been to 26 countries. I have never done any of this before in my life. But these are the kinds of things that I have to do, and I would implore you to do if you are moving abroad or traveling abroad as an American citizen anytime soon. So the first thing, of course, is get your passport. Get your passport now. Get it in order. Put in the order. Even if you don't see or understand how you're going to use it, where you're going to go, even if you don't have a plan in place yet, you need to have a passport, because if things go down in any particular way, you need to be able to go out as soon as possible. And you need to be able to do that with a passport. And I have a passport and an enhanced driver's license. So if you need to get an enhanced driver's license, get that too. But definitely get your passport. I've heard that the website has had some delays. There's been all that stuff. Whatever it is, this is your first and foremost important non-negotiable order of business. You got to do it. Get your passport. The second thing is renew your driver's license. Now, some of the things I'm going to be telling you going to sound like super easy, like renew your driver's license, even no matter how far out it expires or, whatever. But all states don't work the same. So I'm in Washington State, for example. With my driver's license in Washington State, I called to try it. Well, at first I tried to do it on the website and I kept getting this message, right? I couldn't do it. So I called, was on hold forever, but finally talked to a person. And Washington State, you have to have at least 364 days before your driver's license expires before you can renew it. You can't just renew it, and mine doesn't expire until next May of 2026. And so I have more than 364 days. So I haven't been able to renew my driver's license, but your state may allow you to renew it ahead of time. So I would encourage you, if you can, to renew it as soon as possible. Something I forgot to say about the passport is I know that there are some programs, and you want to take advantage again of people-centered programs now, because I don't think this administration cares about people. And so I don't know how much longer these things are going to be available. But there are some programs, and I don't know if it's state level or federal level, so you do your own research. But there are some programs where if you are low income or on food assistance or on another kind of government assistance, they will waive the passport renewal fees, right? And so you want to find out about those programs and apply so that if you are in a financial bind, you can get your passport renewal fees waived, or maybe not even renewal. So you can get your passport fees waived and get your passport. This is very important. Okay. Next is driver's license. So depending on your state, depending on what the rules are, I would renew now so that you have it. And you can say, I am a legal driver, right? I am recognized as a legal driver. Now, again, I don't know what is going to be needed, what is not going to be needed. But when I move out of the country, I don't know what the state of the United States is going to be, right? And I don't know if I'm going to be able to access any of this online, virtually. Excuse me. So you want to be able to have the hard paper copies of these things, your passport, your driver's license, but also everything I'm going to be telling you about today, you also want to make digital copies of them and put them in multiple places, which we'll talk about a little bit later. You also want to request your social security card. Request your social security card. Even if you've had it, you need to make sure you have the updated version, whatever it is. Get your social security card. So far we've got passport, we've got driver's license, we've got social security card. Next thing, because remember, the whole objective, the whole intention about this is that you need to be able to prove who you are when you're outside of the country. Now, when I ordered my passport, there was this thing on no, not my passport. The next step, your birth certificate. You need to order your birth certificate. Again, every state is different, so I don't know the rules of your state. For me in Washington State, I was able to order it directly from the government agency that offers the vital records. And there was an option to order the apostille so that it can prove that works internationally, right? Just the birth certificate, from what I understand, and I'm a layman, right? Like, I don't know, I'm not a legal person, whatever. The birth certificate works state to state, right? Shows you are. But if I go to Uzbekistan, they may not recognize it. And so I was like, okay, but if you have an apostille on it, then it is good internationally. That was my layman's understanding. So when I called, again, on phone for thousands of years, but finally talked to a person who was very kind and helpful. And I was like, okay, oh yeah, I want to order it with the apostille. And he was like, oh, for what country? I didn't realize that if you need to order it for an apostille, it needs to be legitimate. Like, you need to name the specific country that you need it for. Now, the country I was going to, which I'm not sharing publicly yet, may be changing, because things are actually changing in that country right now, or things are not necessarily the most receptive for me right now. So some things are changing. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I don't necessarily need that. So I just ordered my birth certificate, but you need to have your birth certificate. So if this is at all helpful for you, please click subscribe, join my community, join my world. We talk about living our dreams, how we're doing it, not just in the spiritual, esoteric, intangible way, which I'm 10 toes down in, but also in the what are we doing in the practical, real world way? How are we transitioning? How are we translating what we want to do, our dreams, our desires, our visions for our life, to the practical boots on the ground? And as I said, my vision for my life is to be living abroad right now, living out of the United States, which means I got to put the practical steps in place, boots on the ground, in order to have all the steps in place. So far we've got passport, we've got driver's license, we've got birth certificate, we've got social security card. Now that may be sufficient in a lot of ways. In 2012, I had brain surgery. Okay, I had brain surgery in 2012. So I need my medical records to also, right? And so I had another major surgery. As I mentioned, I came back to the States from Rwanda in 2023 for another major surgery. Now, the brain surgery that I had in 2012 was in Seattle. It was very easy to get those records, went into my chart, downloaded them. It was very simple. No. That's not it. Sorry, messed that up. It was easy for me to get my 2023 records, went into my chart, which I did in Los Angeles. I had that surgery in Los Angeles. I downloaded those records. It was very easy. My Seattle records with my brain surgery is proving a lot more difficult. Now, the good news is when I had the other surgery, because a different story, a different conversation, but I thought I might have to have a second brain surgery in 2023. And so I was going to doctors while I was in Los Angeles to see if I had to have a brain surgery again. And so the records from my original brain surgery were sent to Los Angeles. And so thankfully, when I downloaded all the records from my second surgery, in my chart, they were also all of the records that had been sent from Seattle for my when I was looking at neurologists and neurosurgeons in Los Angeles. So they were all in my chart. But I wanted the originals from my original surgeon and all that in Seattle. And that has been proven a lot more difficult to get. I'm not giving up, but I'm saying this to say, give yourself as much time as you might need. Because if you're moving, if you really are leaving the country, then you don't know when. So it's better to have them just in case, and you don't know how long things are going to take. So I would encourage you to start doing everything now, as much as you can now, because the more things are changing in the States, the more people are going to be wanting to leave and be contacting these agencies, contacting these offices, contacting these departments and asking for these kinds of records. And so you want to get in now so that you don't have to wait in as long of a line. Okay, I have my notes right in front of me. I'm putting my spectacles on so I can actually read them. So we got birth certificate, we got driver's license, we got health records, we got social security, we got passport. The other thing, because again, this is in order to show who you are wherever you go. So the other thing that I have put in requests for, which is also taking a lot more time, is my college transcripts and my college diploma, because I graduated around the turn of the century. Okay, it's been a while, and their behind the scenes systems, Spelman College, shout out, but their behind the scenes systems have changed rapidly, dramatically, right? We didn't have, everything wasn't digitized when I was in college. I remember just standing in line at registration for long hours, many hours. And so I don't even know what my student ID was. I don't remember. That was literally decades ago. And so I'm having to do the research to try and figure this out so that I can get my transcript, because say I'm wherever I'm going to go, say the cloud or whatever, access to the internet or whatever shuts down here, right? In the United States, say we don't have access to the same things as easily. Say we're not able to get online and pull things up, or say offices are closed, or whatever might happen. I don't know. And so I want to have my transcripts and my college diploma accessible and available to me as whenever I need it. So if I need to prove who I am to whoever might need to know, that I can just resource it very easily. Okay. So we've got passport, social security card, driver's license, medical records, transcripts, diploma, if you have those, whatever other documentation that you have that might prove who you are and what you need. Now, this isn't something that applies to me right now, but also prescriptions. So you want to get your prescriptions not just in the cloud, but get them hard written out, pen to paper, by your doctor, right? Whoever's prescribing them, your nurse practitioner, whoever's prescribing them, make copies of them before you hand them to your pharmacist so that you can have what you need in paper, tangible documents. Wherever you go, it's all tangible. So these are all things I want you to have tangible, things that you can touch, things that you can hold, right? These are not just in the cloud. The cloud is fine, but you also need them. Something else that I'm buying, I haven't bought it yet, but it's in my shopping cart, is a document protector, right? Fireproof and waterproof document protector so that you can, whatever happens, if anything happens, they are protected and not as vulnerable to the elements. So I want you to, now this is inspired. A lot of the information I got, now some of it I just was like, okay, I started already shifting into this gear, this mode, like I need to have everything that I need to prove I am who I say I am, wherever I go, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how other countries are going to see or receive us. We don't know if policies are going to change. We don't know. And so I want to have everything I need in case I don't want to be caught out there. I'd rather be thinking ahead right now than try and figure this out later. Okay, so now these steps came from this woman on TikTok named Nina, who has worked with refugees and people and asylum seekers all over the world. And so these next steps are things that I got from her. Thank you, Nina, that I'm going to be sharing with you as well. So the first thing she said, make copies in color and black and white and upload the black and white to the cloud, right? Put them in the cloud in a secure, encrypted place in the cloud, including all of these other documents, right? All of the documents that we've named, put them up in the cloud in an encrypted place. Keep the color version of these documents with you. And she didn't say this, but I would say in this protected documents folder, envelope, or whatever. Then once they're all, you have the physical originals, you have made black and white copies for the cloud. She encourages to take the hard copies of the black and white and leave them with someone that you trust, a trustworthy friend so that you have things in multiple places so that if things go down, you have ways to prove that you are who you say you are. Now, these are very important details, right? These are things that we don't normally think about, but we can't afford not to. If history tends to repeat itself, if not addressed at the root, and the things that we're seeing rapidly happen, today is February 4th, and we're seeing things happen rapidly. This administration has been in office 2 weeks now. Rapid changes already. So I don't know where this road is going to go, but we know that the United States has seen the likes of this kind of administration before, and it did not bear well or bode well for people who look like me, for my ancestors, for people who lived multiple different lives and lifestyles, disabled people, people of the LGBTQIA experience. Oh, we know many different religions have been persecuted, and we're seeing this unfurling in front of our faces right here and right now. It's time to get to higher ground. And these are the documents that you need to take with you if you are going to higher ground. And even if you don't know what or how you're going to be doing it yet, you need to have these in place so that when it's ready to go, you have your paperwork with you. Yes, your go bag is important. Yes, all the things that you need are important. But what's most also important is that you're able to prove who you are when you get there. Because we don't know, again, the American passport has been very strong for a long time. The American dollar has been very strong for a long time. But I have the feeling that things are about to change. And I don't know where, and I don't know how, and I don't know how for how long, but I don't want to be caught out there in the crossfires. I want to, let me say this in a more positive way. I want to have as much as I can to communicate who I am so that I can be as well prepared and well equipped for whatever I need to be well equipped and well prepared for in the paperwork sense. Now, money is, something that we're all still trying to make sure we have enough money. Well, I guess not all of us. I guess the ones running the corporations are fine sitting in their money and greed. But the rest of us who are living lives, human to human, regular lives, want to make sure that we have enough financial stability to make decisions. And I'm actually at the point now in my journey where I'm like, there's the optimal, ideal, best scenario, which I made a video that I'll put here where I talk about how I'm making decisions about where I'm going and what I'm doing. We have those scenarios, right? But there's also, I'm at the point now where I'm like, what am I willing to scale back on? What am I willing to set? How much money is going to get me where I need to go so that I can just leave? Because that is becoming I feel like that didn't make a lot of sense. Just leaving is becoming my priority. Historically, it's been like, I want to have this amount of money. I want to make sure this is in place and this is in place and this is in place. But because everything is changing so rapidly, I don't necessarily know if how much time I have to wait until all the things that I want in place are actually in place. And so instead of biding my time, I'm asking myself, what is, how, sorry, I realized that I didn't finish the sentence. The song that comes to my mind is How Low Can You Go, right? Like, what is the bare bones necessity requirements that I need to be able to leave right now, leave this country? And that's the question that I'm sitting with, right? I have my ideal, I have my optimal, and I may have to leave if I haven't met that. Because again, time is of the essence. I don't know how this is going to impact everything. I don't. And so that's the question I'm sitting with. I would love to know if you're planning on leaving, and if so, what questions are you sitting with? What are you exploring? What are you trying to figure out? If you would like support and guidance, really figuring out what you need, what you want, what's going to feel most aligned for you, you're invited to work with me one-on-one. I have a call called the Alignment Hour. The link is in my bio. Link is in the description. I'm so used to saying link is in my bio from other social media apps. The link is in the description. Excuse me. And I would love to work with you. It's a 45-minute call where I really walk you through what are you needing, what's in the way of getting that, and how can we get you there. It's a step-by-step process that it will really help give you clarity and focus to move forward. Because right now it's easy to feel kind of panicked and overwhelmed and overstimulated. It's easy to feel like you might want to put your head in the ground and just hope for the best. Someone who I'm sure was very well-meaning left me a comment that said, America has bounced back before. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it has. I don't want to be here when it is figuring that out. I don't. That doesn't feel like the way I want to live my life. It's definitely not how I want to live my life. And, I spent my childhood in the 80s and the 90s, and I have seen other countries not do right in very big ways by their citizens. I have seen the USSR. I remember Tiananmen Square, right? I remember apartheid South Africa. Like, this is in my lifetime. I'm not even talking about my mother and my father growing up in the segregated Jim Crow South. That's not my lived memory. I'm talking about in my lived memory, we have seen the harm that has come from citizens by their own government in their own country. And I don't want to be here to experience that. I don't need firsthand experience. I don't. My ancestors have given more than enough to this country, and I am ever, ever, ever grateful for them. And they're like, go do your thing, girl. It's a big, oh, baby, it's a big world out there. So go do, I was about to sing, oh, baby, it's a wild world, but it's a big world out there. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I want you to have all of the paperwork you need, everything you need to do, to be as well prepared in any circumstance as possible. If this is helpful for you, usually most of my videos are not this like hard hitting tactile, but if this is helpful for you, please subscribe. Please join the community of people who are living their dream lives regardless of external circumstances. That's the most important thing. So let's circle back all the way. Let's contextualize this in the big picture. My commitment to myself and my reason for being is to be a model, an example of what it's like to live your dream for your life. Like, what is that like? I'm here to live my dream for my life, regardless of who is in government, regardless of what the environment is, the economy is doing, regardless of politics. I'm still here to live my dream life, and we all can, right? It's really not about being tethered to or oriented by external circumstances. It's about learning how to find your own sovereignty, your own truth, and activate your own agency so that you can create your life, but how you want it to be. But that does require intentionality. That does require deliberateness. That does require showing up, right? That does require a clear mind and a clear vision. That's why Inside Hour is so powerful, because it's 45 minutes with me, and I cut through the fat of the story. I cut through the crap and the fat and get to the heart of who you truly are and what you truly want, so that you can live your dreams regardless of external circumstances. So again, the link for Inside Hour, Alignment Hour, the link for Alignment Hour is in the description, and I would love to work with you because you deserve it. We all deserve to live the lives of our dreams. I think in our cultural context, particularly right now, there's a lot of haves, and there's some haves and a lot of have-nots. And we are often taught that we have to become a have in order to have freedom, in order to have sovereignty, in order to have agency, in order to create our dream lives, in order to make the choices that we want. And that's just not the truth. Like, we were born as haves. We were born, and I'm not saying H-A-L-V-E, not haves, Haves, right? We were born as haves. And really what we have to exercise and connect to is our own internal wisdom, our own spiritual strength, our own energetic power to create our dream lives, which is about harnessing our soul, our source, our relationship with the divine and the creator. That's what we're here for. But when we start orienting to and thinking our power is rooted outside of us, in the government, in the economy, in our family, even in our bank account, when we start thinking that that is where we get our power from and that is what makes things possible, that's when we get caught up in the mix. And I'm not saying those things aren't real. Clearly, I just went through a whole list of all the tangible, real world paperwork that you will benefit you to have in your pockets as soon as possible. But it's a both and, right? Because there's some spiritual teachers who are just about sitting on a cloud, playing a harp, waiting for things to manifest into your lap. And that's not, no, let me not say it like that, because my life, I'm a master manifester and I have gotten a lot of amazing things that way. Oh, hold on. It's telling me something. Oh, okay. Zoom is telling me something. I'll look at it later. But anyway, so I'm a master manifestor. Things do fall into my lap. I have gotten that way. But what I'm finding, and I've lived a lot of my life that way. But what I'm finding is when I partner my energetic wisdom and my spiritual gifts and my deep kind of non-physical, ethereal, spiritual, intangible wisdom with practical boots on the ground, day to day, how do I translate that into real world practicality? That's when things really take off. right? That's when things really transform. And so it's not just waiting for God to drop something in your lap, for the ancestors to magically bless you, for things to just manifest miraculously. Although all of that is true, it's also about, how do I translate, trusting that that's happening, right? Trusting that that's happening in the non-physical, trusting that everything is already unfolding for my highest and best good, trusting that everything is already aligning, trusting that life is unfolding in my favor, trusting that all of that is happening. How then do I translate that to boots on the ground, practical, real world, real life experiences that are like scaffolding or structuring or building or moving forward my dream? That's the magic. That's the miracle. That's how we create and use our divine creative powers. But we cannot harness or anchor our sense of possibility and power in the government. I'm a Black American, multi-generational Black American. I come from Black Americans, Black American. We've been here. We built the country. If I, or my ancestors, or my elders thought that our power or our freedom or our sovereignty actually came for the government, we would be a lot worse off than we are right now. But my ancestors and my elders, thankfully, knew that that wasn't true. That's how they created all the institutions and all the love and all the art and all the magic and all the gifts, everything that they've created, because they were not anchored in these external institutions telling them who they were. And that's what I know to be true too. The government's not going to tell you who you are or what you're worthy of. It never has and it never will. Neither does your bank account, neither does your job title, neither does your religious institution. Now, your relationship with the divine, yes, but the institution itself, sketchy. Sketchy. I'm not saying don't be religious. I'm just saying you have to know who you are outside of who someone else tells you you are. So that's my conversation with you for the day. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what resonated with you. If you want to work with me one-on-one with an alignment hour call, click the link down below and schedule some time together. And I will keep you posted on how things are working for me, as I am also preparing to move abroad. As I mentioned, the country that I haven't figured out. I may still go to this original country, and no, I have not shared anywhere where it is, but I may still go. But if not, I'm still leaving. I'm still leaving. I was supposed to have a subletter who's going to be here with me for a year. They canceled because they lost their job. I'm still leaving. I'm still leaving. External circumstances are not determining what I do with my life and how I do what I want with my life, because I am creating my reality right here and right now. And the government is doing what it's doing, and whatever, all these other things outside of me are doing what they're doing. And I am still creating my reality, as we all are. So thank you for being here. Check out the video right here. I think I'm doing this live, so I think I'll be able to add a video here to watch later. But anyway, thank you for being here. I'll be back very soon for a new conversation. And here's to living your dream. Here's to living your dreams and enjoying your dream life. Bye for now.